Hey, man.
What's happening, boys?
How are you, dude?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there. We are hanging in there. Thank you so much for spending some time with us early in the morning, I imagine, right? Not exactly rock star hours, or are you up already at this point?
I'm up. I was ready for you, man.
You were up, probably already got a workout in, the whole thing, right?
No, I didn't get the workout in just yet. I got a pretty heavy day. It might be an evening session. There's a lot going on today.
Well, it's good to see your face.
Yeah.
It's good to hear your voice. Thank you very much for spending time with us, Brent. We are excited to have you guys come to Boise in a little over a week. The tour kicks off right before that in Spokane. So, what is the lead up to the big tour like for you guys? Are you in rehearsal mode or are you in relax mode?
No, there's been no relaxing this entire year so far, but that's a good thing because we're just excited to. This particular stage show is about 9 months of work. And so what we did was, what we're getting ready to present to everybody is hands down the biggest production that we've put together. But it's also not something that we wanted to get uncomfortable with this stage. And why I say that was instead of just a traditional like 60 by 40, you go into an event, you see the stage, and it's like, okay, there's everybody on stage. This stage has kind of been turned the other way. So the thrust goes out way into the audience. So there's a lot more dynamic with how we've housed this particular production. Um, we think that people are going to be blown away by it. I know we're blown away by it. It took a lot of work to make it happen. And, the buildings have been really, really cool with us about it because it's not a traditional setup. But they've been so jazzed by the way that it looks and what we're going to be bringing to the people. So we're really excited about the show.
That's awesome. A bit nerdy, but when you start to think about that, you guys get together and collaborate. Who has the idea? It's like, let's do something different. Do you bring in people who are experts or to put together a production like that, or is it just, hey, this is what we want, let's make it happen?
It's definitely a family of people that we've worked with over the years. One main component is a gentleman by the name of Mitch Schillinger, who is probably one of the most sought after production designers in music, live music today. And we befriended him quite a while ago. He did all of the production along with another gentleman by the name of Court Lawrence on the Attention production, which was quite massive as well. But it's a combination of a lot of people. We're known as far as the touring aspects and the live production. It's a very theatrical show. It's a very interactive show. There's a lot of special effects. We use a lot of elements of pyrotechnics. We're kind of doing something this time around where we're pushing the envelope on all of that. So it's a collective effort with everybody. There's a lot of people involved in building these shows.
It's cool.
Well, we are lucky enough to have seen Shinedown come through Boise plenty of times. We know you don't mess around when it comes to your live show. So when you say you've got something special planned, we're pretty sure you are going to live up to that word. So we are excited to see you coming up next Saturday. And of course, let's talk a little bit about Planet Zero, which is the album that comes out next month as well on the 22nd. Yeah. I know you're getting ready to release an album, but that means that the lead up to it was probably still kind of in the middle of all the pandemic and mess stuff. Was putting the album together any different for you guys, or did you go the business as usual route?
Well, the interesting thing about that was, if I go all the way back to 2020 when the pandemic occurred, one of the very first things that we did was partnered with an incredible organization by the name of Direct Relief. We raised $500,000 for COVID-19 response. We're still very, very close with that organization because they're amazing. I know that you gentlemen and you guys and girls helped out tremendously with the Atlas Falls campaign for that. So thank you. We got to South Carolina in the summer of 2020, started talking about what kind of a record we were going to make and how that was going to happen. And we began recording in 2020. That moved into 2021. We continued the recording and the writing process for that. Last year, Shinedown, we made good on some postponed dates and some more bigger shows. We went out in the middle of the summer last year, did 8 shows, took a 2-week break, did 5 weeks on the road. last year. And then moving into the beginning of this year, we've already done the West Coast with some stuff that we had to postpone. It's about 3 weeks worth of dates that we just finished out earlier this year. And then with the album in and of itself, we just kept moving right along. We didn't really go inside. You know, myself and Zach, we were supporting also too the Smith and Myers project with the double album, and we were touring on that as well. So we've been not quote unquote maybe business as usual, but we've adapted and we've maneuvered and we've just kind of learned how to navigate this pandemic throughout the last 2.5 years. But I think everybody now understands that, you know, hey, it's a virus. You're never getting rid of it. You know, it's a coronavirus, you know, coronavirus family, which is, you know, that's the common cold. You have to learn how to get strong, build your immune system up. But I think everybody is really moving forward. And I think more than anything now, the most important thing is, you know, as a society, as a people, not only respecting each other as we move forward into the future, but also respecting the planet and just being educated about what's going on. But on top of that, man, people are just ready to have their lives back and to be back with one another. So, you know, we're doing everything in our power to make sure everyone's safe. But at the end of the day, man, we're rock and roll to the bone and it's time to go to work.
Yeah, and the album already off to a great start because Planet Zero, your 18th #1 single, Planet Zero. Yeah. I mean, talk about that for just a second. 18. I mean, that's a gigantic number. Could you have ever dreamed that when you were just getting started?
No. And I have to say this really upfront about that also. We have often said this many times because it's true. In Shinedown, we only have one boss. It just happens to be everybody in the audience. And it's the audience and it's people like yourselves that have been there for us from day one, especially with terrestrial radio. You've always supported us and you've always been there. But a lot of that has to do with the fan base and allowing us to evolve as musicians. We try to not make the same record over and over again. We do our best to not write the same song twice. And, you know, we put everything that we have into this album. And, you know, we listened to everybody before we picked what the first single was going to be for this album. We know that people wanted, you know, a lot of confidence. They wanted a real solidified banger, and they wanted us to light them up. And I think that that's exactly what the song Planet Zero is doing. It's obviously reacting with people. You know, it's crazy that that song is actually the 28th single that we've released as a band, and that in and of itself is nuts. But yeah, to have, you know, 18 #1s, we don't take it lightly, man. We're very humbled by it.
Certainly a testament to you and your bandmates for sure, and the quality of product that you guys put out. We've had a chance to catch up with all the members of Shinedown. One of my favorite stories we ever had, we were talking to Eric, I think, out at Rock on the Range, and he was telling us one of the things that you did, I think, when you were preparing for Amaryllis was you challenged yourself not to repeat a lyric more than twice in any particular song. I like that you add these particular challenges and hurdles to make things more difficult for yourself. Did you do anything this time around with Planet Zero in that realm?
Well, the funny thing is that not only, you know, this record that's getting ready to be released on April 22nd, you know, we wrote about roughly 30 songs and we don't really demo anything anymore. I mean, one of the other elements about the pandemic that kind of forced us to do something in regards to the recording aspect was at the beginning of the pandemic, that first year of 2020, we didn't know when we were going to be able to go back into a studio. I was calling studios just to see, hey, when do you think you'll allow people in? And they were like, Brent, we just don't know. So we took 18 weeks and built a studio from the ground up on Eric's property. That's how we were able to record this record. So that was a major challenge, building a studio and then kind of turning the other mechanism on to continue writing. But we don't really demo anymore. Like when we write a song, we kind of go in and we record it right then and there. So one element was we had the idea that we thought the first record was going to be, we were going to do this thing where no song was more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. So that only that only lasted for like a couple of songs. Then we realized that was really hard to do. But yeah, the funny thing is that we have another record after Planet Zero actually right now also. But we don't know exactly when that's going to be released and how we're putting things together. It's so funny because in this day and age, with how fast people consume music, and when an album comes out, it's kind of like the day the record comes out, people go, "So your record just came out. Are you working on anything new?" It's always that mentality. So we were just kind of the mindset of, let's just go ahead and have another record ready to go even before this one comes out. So you just kind of maneuver with there's no rules anymore, I guess is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Well, I want to marinate in Planet Zero for a while then. So I'll be looking forward to that in April 22nd. And then coming up here next Saturday, Brent, it's going to be bonkers at Extra Mile Arena. Can't wait to see you again.
Hell yeah, man. We've been waiting a long, long time. We are super excited to be bringing Diamante and the Pretty Reckless with us. We've been trying to work with, the band's been trying to work with these two ladies for a while. So it just made a whole lot of sense. And we were able to plan it together. And we're just super jazzed about the tour and very excited to be in Boise, but, soon.
Yeah, and you guys just announced a whole nother leg with Jelly Roll, and you're gonna be road dogging it for a while, man. So safe travels. Thanks for carving out some time for us, and we'll see you soon, sir. All right.
Much appreciated, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brent. Take care of yourself, man. Bye-bye.
Later.